Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? Welcome to the live stream. So I'm hoping that I'm coming in clear. I'm in the living room today, as you can see, because we traded places from last week. Last week I was in the office. My husband was out here. But today I'm out here. And these are the joys of sharing a workspace during the pandemic. I want to know how everyone is doing today. Let me know if you can hear me and you can see me. I will let you know right at the beginning of the live stream that I was just informed this morning that there is going to be a jet flyover at about 12:15. So there'll be like a big boom that'll sound like an explosion, but it's not. It'll be a jet flyover, and so I will try not to freak out. and but funny thing, I like here a little known fact. Okay, I'm quite easily frightened. I am like a deer. So my father actually found this super hysterical, and always was very, tickled when he would come into the room and surprise me when I was a kid, because I would jump, scream. My husband actually does it too. I think it's really funny. So I may be very surprised during the live, and you will probably laugh. And it's okay to laugh. I'm okay to be laughed at. Totally fine. I can laugh at myself. Don't worry about it. There's a lot of like comments in the videos where like I have an accident, or like I shook the OXO container and the flour flew everywhere. People are like, "Oh, I'm sorry for laughing." I'm like, "No, I left it in so you can laugh. So please laugh." So let me let me look at the comments, because somehow they've slowed down in Ecamm, but they are keeping up on YouTube, which is really weird. Oh no, they're sort of synced up. So that'll be very exciting. I am hybrid. I'll answer your question in a moment about the Switch. I have had a really interesting few, like 12 hours. So I'm not as prepared for the live as I'd like to be. I'm missing like slides and all kinds of things. I do have some slides for you to look at, but not a lot. So I apologize. Next week I will be better prepared. But on my way to here he comes. Hold on. Here he comes. Hi. Here's the bean right at the beginning of the broadcast for you. So here he is. I hope you all enjoy his presence. Clover, say hi to the people. There they are. There we go. Oh, can you see him? There he is. Yeah. So I'm hoping that this being in front of a window actually is going to be a little better than last week. So my last 12 hours, more than that, 14 hours have been really interesting. So on the way taking Clover out last night, I jammed my finger in the door, accidentally, of course, and it was one of the most painful experiences of my life. And I now have a bruise under my nail. I don't know if you can see. Maybe see if my camera will focus on it. It's hard to see. Oh, you can see the little bruise under the nail, and now on my finger is turning purple as well. I don't know why those injuries are so incredibly painful, but I was crying. So that was the first tragedy. And then I guess I had some anxiety about the live because I wasn't prepared. So I had a nightmare that I flashed you all during the live, which is not going to happen. I can assure you. Maybe some of you are disappointed. I don't know. And then this morning, I was able to catch the replay of the webinar from the National Association for the Teachers of Singing, which is also called NATS. And they have indicated that it's probably not safe to have a rehearsal or be in a performance for at least a year or 2 years. So I spent a little time doing the crying. So I cried for that, and I cried for the finger thing. So I'm a little loose this morning, so I apologize. Next week I will have tightened up my game. So I'm gonna check in the chat, see how everyone's doing. Clover looks just like Lady from Lady and the Tramp. Yeah, finger jabbing too. Yeah, you know what? That's the reason I fell in love with him, basically, is when I was little, I always loved the Lady and the Tramp dog, and I wanted a dog just like that. And the Lady and the Tramp dog is actually, I think it's supposed to be a Cocker Spaniel, but looks like a Cavalier. So I was very pleased to know that that was a real dog. Let's go ahead and check in the yes, Debbie, there will be it's not 100% safe to have rehearsals, group rehearsals and stuff for probably at least a year, or until there's a vaccine or a treatment with 95% efficacy, because it's just too contagious. And there was a whole slot in the beginning about the science of how it's airborne and all that stuff. I actually I can put it down in the description after the live is over, but it's 2.5 hours webinar, so it's really long, but anybody can watch it. It's on YouTube, and it's very depressing. So that's where we're at right now. It's very sobering. Everybody is there's a lot of talk on my Facebook feed this morning, because I'm a lot of my friends are my colleagues, and it's very depressing. So we'll see what happens. It's just, you can't guarantee for this. I mean, you can't guarantee you're going to be safe, and you can't guarantee that it's going to be that long. So maybe there's hope that it's not going to be that long, but like, wow. I remember that early in the development of the pandemic here, there was a choir that rehearsed, I guess, and they did everything that they wanted to, that they thought was going to protect them. They, socially distanced. They sat, 6 feet apart from one another. They had hand sanitizer. They, wiped surfaces down, and they all sang. They had a rehearsal. None of them hugged or anything. And I think 75% of them got infected. So that's overwhelming. That like the singing and stuff is super spreading the virus. Clover's just brought me a toy. It's this one. Here you go. He does that every afternoon. I've been playing, but it's not enough for him. So it's let's check this. It said it's airborne for at least 8 hours. I mean, it sounds like it. They don't know exactly how long, but like, yeah, it's really devastating. So there's not a lot that I've been doing this morning other than sort of trying to figure stuff out. And it's kind of like somebody died, honestly. It's, my career died, basically. So, well, not died, but like it's on life support, basically, right now. So I'm going to go back and check the chat. Brid, you're asking about the best game to buy for the Switch right now. That is Animal Crossing. Oh, Brenda, yes, and one person did die from that choir who was rehearsing. The thing is devastating. So we'll see what happens, but it will. I mean, I think a lot of people will maybe be able to pivot. We'll see, but not really sure. But back to happier news. I'm just like waiting for the flyover. I'm freaked out. I do live near the train, and so I can also hear the train, and I'm sorry if you can hear it too. But I'm waiting for the boom that's gonna scare the living daylights out of me. But Animal Crossing is the best thing you can buy right now for the Nintendo Switch. I have been playing on my gaming channel, which I will link down below, and I've been playing with friends, and it's really fun. Been sort of bringing us together. I've been playing with a lot of my opera peeps, visiting towns, and you can chat on the Nintendo app if you have that. So when we visit each other's towns, we can chat on the app, like being on the phone and then playing at the same time. It's not like you have to type out all the things on the screen, and that's been super fun and 100% super wholesome. But Animal Crossing is great. There's a number of great games. It really depends on what you like. Because if you like that kind of relaxing game, there's another game like the Harvest Moon. Well, it's called Story of Seasons now, which is a farming simulator that's really fun. So, but it really depends on what you like. Let's go back down in the chat. Jennifer, thank you so much. Thank you for giving those old videos new life. Because sometimes, and I always want to make sure that I publish a lot of content that can be evergreen, so that people can watch it and still get value out of it for however long it is. This Clover has brought the toy back and is staring at me, but now is not a good time, buddy. I'm sorry. We will play after the live is over. Suzanne, I'm sorry to hear about one of your high school basketball games attendees. Oh, died. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, this is just this is great. Hi, time for tea with Tamara. Hello, girl. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much. I miss your videos. I miss your videos so much. But I'm glad to see you in the chat. Thank you for saying my curls are popping. I'm trying. We're trying to stay looking good in quarantine. And thank you, Wendy, for coming to my Animal Crossing streams. Were fun. To you with your tea. You're an Animal Crossing girl. I love that. Yeah, it's very relaxing because you don't have to social distance the Animal Crossing. You can talk to your chicken neighbor, and you can say hello to them all you want. Isn't Journey available on the Switch now? I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a fun game. Let's see. Put off everything that could have a possibility to cause me to miss this live. The world can wait. Thank you for coming to the live. So, I want to. I feel like. Hi, Jeremy. Hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to make this like a gaming chat. I do love talking about games, but I do. On a serious tip, though, I do love Animal Crossing because you can arrange your little furniture and build your town and island, and it's good for the professional organizer and me to like move pieces around. That's what I love games like The Sims and Animal Crossing, because I get to be the omniscient interior designer, which is super fun, and it's really great. Clover has brought me a ball. I'll throw it for him because he's just so cute. Here you go. There you go. Can you see? Can you see it? Oh. Kathleen, definitely check out Animal Crossing. It's so fun. I've been playing it since 2002 when the first iteration came out for the GameCube, and it's just chill. It's because the game never ends, right? You only see the credits when you get a song by KK Slider. You only see that's the only time you see the credits, because the game never ends, and you just play. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go fishing. You don't have to catch bugs. You don't have to pay your mortgage from Tom Nook. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just chill, and it's great. You played Luigi's Mansion 3. That's awesome. All right. So I think there was one organizing question that was in the chat earlier. And if you can, Sylvia, you had a question about your pantry. We can do that if there's time at the end. But I've got stuff that came from the community tab, so I want to get to some of that first. So let's go ahead and get to the first question from yesterday. And I apologize. From now on, I will have my stuff together, but this week I did not. So it's very distracting to have Clover here, and there. He's gonna be very distracting through the whole stream. I'm sorry. Okay. So the first question from yesterday's community tab, and it's usually just organizing questions. I might butcher some usernames. I'm sorry. It's 12:15. Where is that flyover? She asks, is it okay to have a catch-all drawer, aka junk drawer? I find that some things just don't have a place. Sometimes I don't even know what it is at the moment, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'm glad I kept it. So basically asking about the existence of a junk drawer and whether or not it's okay. So I haven't done a video about this in a long time, but I did a video about this a long time ago. And I do believe that it is okay, of course. Well, I don't have a lot of things. I don't say a lot of things are like not okay, right? I'm kind of more fluid than that. But as far as junk drawers, I usually like to refer to them as utility drawer. So I encourage hello, Ebony's Views. I encourage you to change the way you refer to items sometimes in your home, because junk drawer, and although we've popularized that term, I want people to not refer to their stuff in their house as junk. It changes the way that we feel about it. It changes the way that we treat it, and it changes the way that we organize it, right? Because if it's junk, it's either something that shouldn't be there, or it doesn't have any value to you, as use or value at all. So things that are useful are utility items, right? So things like pencils, nail clippers, tacks, tape, those kinds of straws, things that end up in junk drawers, so-called junk drawers, do have a place. They're helpful. So I like to refer to this as the utility drawer. I would make sure that you go and edit periodically to see if those things are actually very useful. Sometimes they're just like old packets. I mean, these are things I've seen in people's houses in the junk drawer, old packets of soy sauce and things like that. You probably can edit some of that out. But I myself have a couple of utility drawers that contain useful items that are non-categorized. I think I do remember I did read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and I think Marie Kondo has referred to some of that stuff as it was on the top of my tongue just a few moments ago. And if anyone knows, please type it in the chat. But it is like just miscellaneous items. So items that don't really have categories, but, you know, are useful items. Clover's waiting for me to throw something, but I don't know what it is. So we're just going to keep going on. So I hope that answered your question for you. Yes, I think it's fine to have a junk drawer, but I would refer to it as utility drawer, just to, because the way that we refer to items and the way that we name items and call items really affects how we feel about them. So I want to make sure that you feel that the things in your house are useful and not junk or trash or any of that stuff. Next, Sasha C asks, will I set up a P.O. box when this is all over? I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the P.O. boxes because, like, I now have a platform that's tens of thousands of subscribers, large, right, over all of the platforms. And when I get contact from brands that want to send me stuff, I don't necessarily want stuff. So it's like it kind of is a double-edged sword. Like because I don't really want free items unless I feel like it's really beneficial to show you. But I would like a place to receive things if people would like to send them to me. So I'm not sure. So I'll think about it. But yeah, I'll consider it. That's the problem, right? I just don't want, like, a lot of people really appreciate, especially in the beauty space, they really appreciate the PR that is sent. But I, as an organizer and someone who's trying to keep my possessions down to a reasonable level, find some issues with getting a lot of press samples sent to me. So it's not something necessarily that I want to increase. So that just saying that, if you guys could see Clover, you would be like, it's very distracting. I have played with you earlier. You need to calm down. And the next part of that question was, will you do more commentary over other people's organization videos? Because of the Jaclyn Hill video that I published a few days ago. And the answer is probably yes. I just wanted to experiment with that format because I had been watching some other types of reaction videos. I do like reaction videos as a genre, as like a general, like, entertaining genre, because I like to know what people think about other things, and I did enjoy doing it. And if more people ask, and then I will. There's been some requests about oh, there's the jets flying over. Okay, I can see them. It's not, well, there's a sound, like, physics thing, so it might, here it comes. But I want to do some more reaction videos. I think they'd be really I had a lot of fun doing the video, so I know that Jaclyn Hill's kind of a polarizing figure, so we'll see. A lot of people were, saying that, like, I was very nice, and generally I try to be neutral or, understanding with people in general. I don't think that these are people I don't know, right? I don't know them. I've never met them, so I always feel a need to be respectful for people I don't know. That's not always true on the internet, but it's true with me. Like, if I don't know you, if we'd never met, we're not friends, there's no reason for me to not be respectful towards you. So that is the jet flew over, and it was not the boom that I was expecting did not happen. So yay, I guess. I know, like, back in the day when I was living around Fenway area, if you're familiar with the Boston neighborhoods there near Fenway Park, there's a whole neighborhood. I remember jets flew over that apartment, and it was like an explosion. It was awful. Like, I was freaked out. And then that was before, like, the internet was really fast. I had AOL, but I didn't know, you couldn't log on it was before Twitter. You couldn't log on and be like, what was that? So disappointment. That's all I gotta say. Okay. Susan12, I think you're in the chat. Ask, come on. Thank you, Carolyn, for the miscellaneous items that Marie Kondo refers to, como no. Hi, Shannon Vlogs. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for coming to my live. Nice sweatshirt. Thank you. Nintendo York. I went to the Nintendo store in New York, and I was very thrilled to find this. And it gets a lot of play because it's, like, really comfortable and easy to wear and all that stuff. So, Susan12 asks, what can I do to hide or make better use of the ugly wire shelving in my laundry room? And then Dina Morales asks a similar question about the wired shelving in her pantry. But I'm not convinced on how it looks. So wire shelving is one of my biggest like pet peeves about builder's grade items. Or you can buy it at Home Depot and install it as well. It's functional mostly, but it does look very sterile. It's that metal shelving that's from like Home Depot and stuff, and it's just it's got such huge space between the, I guess, what are the tines, the racks. So a thing you can do if you don't want to get a new shelving system is there is actually covers that you can buy for the shelving. Did I not put a slide there? I did not put a slide there, but I maybe can drag it onto the screen, or no, let's see, maybe can I drag it and then so can you guys see that there's a little cover? I think a company called Renew makes this, that you can place right on top of the shelf to cover it and make it more attractive. I will put some links down below at the end of this live stream. It probably won't be available till maybe a few hours, but those shelves are really annoying. But there's also a great video from Do It on a Dime that is using contact paper and perhaps foam board. I haven't watched the video, but it looks very cute and would be much more attractive than the plain wire shelving that you can get from the from the store. You guys, the dog is very distracting because I can hear it, because I think that his ball has rolled underneath the couch and he's growling and wants me to grab it for him. So I might need to do that during the chat. But there are the other thing I was thinking is you can also buy some either cork board or some plywood. You can have it cut actually when you go to Home Depot, a particular size, and place that on top, and then some contact paper, make it look really cute. I do hate the wire shelving, especially if it's in a pantry, because you're putting tiny things on the little shelves and they just fall through. It's like, ugh, it's gross. So I hope that helped. I will try to put some links at inside the description for you at the end of this live stream. I can hear Clover growling and wanting to get whatever's at the couch. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm so sorry. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So yeah, I do like Do It on a Dime. I haven't watched a lot of her videos lately. I do enjoy her channel though. She's killing it. Oh, now he's coming up here to hang out. Then now that I've thrown the ball, and now he's laying down with it. Unbelievable. Crazy little guy. Okay, next question. Organized Wallflower asks, do you ever find yourself over-organizing, or changing your systems a lot? And the answer to that question is over-organizing, I don't think so. But changing my systems around a lot, I do. I don't always get it right when I do it the first time. So, and that is innately human, right? So you set up a system for yourself and you live with it for a while. And it might work, but it might not work. You might think in your head, well, this is going to solve, XYZ problem, and it really doesn't. It either adds to it or doesn't solve it enough for you. So that's when I go and re-edit the space. And I do that from time to time for a few reasons. And one, I get bored with whatever I have. Thanks, Clover. And two, it might help the system work a little better. So I don't think that I ever over-organize. I think that a lot of people do over-organize. I do find a lot of micro-categorizing that can really stress people out. They have, and I think that's a real big problem with people who have perfectionist tendencies, is they get into the project and they start micro-organizing, that they have too many categories. They, and this is, again, very true with documents, but true with anything too. They're like, well, I have all of these different things, but this one's a brown one, and this one is a smaller one, but this one is for, this thing. So it's, start out a little more broad, and it makes it really less overwhelming. And then after you've solved the problem with broad organizing, then you can micro-organize if you want. It's much easier to start large and then sort of get very detailed, if you know what I mean. Because if you start out really detailed, you're gonna be there for hours, days, weeks doing the project, and by then most people have given up. Most people's sort of tolerance, they get fatigued after like 3 or 4 hours. So that's the advice I have for that. Let's go to the next question. Jasmine Gooden wants to know where I've been ordering plants. I have been ordering, well, I've only ordered from 2 sites. I ordered from Etsy, and I ordered from plantarena.com, which I highly recommend. Plantarena is run by a lovely lady called Amanda, and she's here on YouTube. That's how I found her. And she opened her own plant delivery, her own plant, I guess, storefront. The nursery, I think, is in Florida. And the plants that were sent to me all came in great condition and were beautifully packaged. So, 100% would recommend Plantarena. I've also heard good things about Steve's Leaves, and was that the place in Connecticut? No, that's Logie's. I heard good things about Logie's as well, but I don't have personal experience with those retailers. So there's my recommendations about houseplant buying. Let's take a look at the chat, see if anything interesting is going on. Clover does want to be in the video. He's very annoying today. I love him so much, but he is he's very needy. He's an only child like me, so he's like me all the time. Me. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to plow through these here, and then we can get to some live questions. Claudia asks about the dishes. Oh, Debbie, you live near Logie's. That's cool. She says, I have 2 sets of dishes. I love dishes. One for special occasions and the other for everyday use. Although they look similar, they're not. How should I store them? Both my fancy and everyday ones. So the everyday ones, you probably should store them where you use them. In the kitchen. The fancy ones, though, I want to, because, and I normally recommend keeping, items together, right? Keep dishes with dishes. However, your fancy dishes, right, have now become another category, even though they're dishes. I feel like they are part of your entertainment set. So anything that you would need for entertaining, fancy trays, fancy glasses, even paper cups and paper glasses, napkins, fancy napkins, things like that, all need to live together, because that's most likely when you're going to be using them, right? So that I usually call it the special occasion stuff, and that stuff is up way high, and I never even grab at that. I love those the sort of cylindrical dish containers. I think they're great, and they keep the dust off of stuff too. So I would definitely invest in those, especially if your dishes are super nice. And you can keep a little piece of foam in between each one of them so they don't rub each other and cause problems. But oh my gosh, Clover, he's very persistent. When we first got him, my husband had never been around dogs before, and I wanted to have an opportunity to have him be with me and a trainer, so that we all had an understanding about how we were to behave and what was expected together. So when he was about 17 weeks, we had a trainer come and spend 2 hours with us and Clover. And by that time, I had been with him for a couple of weeks, and I had gotten to know him a little well. And I'm like, he seems real. It's like he's real pushy. And within 5 minutes of being with him, our trainer, Gordon Fontaine, who's really fantastic, was like, he's real pushy, isn't he? I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you got that within 5 minutes. Yeah, he's like, I mean, it doesn't look like it on film, but Clover is very pushy. He wants what he wants when he wants it now. And he is very persistent. Like, if he really wants you to throw the ball, he will wait there for like 20 minutes with like death stare. And he keeps backing up too. That's his little trick. He's backing up, looking at you and backing up, looking at you and backing up. There it is, Clover. Are you alive? I would hope so. Or if it's Westworld, maybe I'm not. Do you guys, any guys in here watch Westworld? I'm hashtag obsessed. I love any like Michael Crichton kind of like sci-fi weirdness. So I like when Jurassic Park came out in the 90s, I was like all over that. I had read the book. By the way, the book Jurassic Park, like 50 times more scary than the movie. Like I had to put the book down at a certain time. I was reading it. I think I was in like middle school or like high school. I was reading it and I was like, there was a scene where Dennis Nedry gets eaten by the Dilophosaurus, and it's so graphic and so frightening that I had to like close it and put it down and say, I will come back to that later. It was terrifying. So, but an aside, here we go. A couple more questions left. 808 Blessed asked, hi Kay, hope you're doing well. I like your helpful tips on Jacqueline's pantry. I have a problem with critters, ants. What kind of containers would be good to save? So keeping, I guess, what to keep the ants out. Anything with a gasket seal is going to be what you want. So anything with a gasket seal. So any of those like little jars with the gasket. I know OXO pop containers have the gasket. There was some talk about OXO pop containers in the chat earlier. I do still believe in these products. They have redesigned them since I brought my original ones, which were much more difficult to wash. I'm going to throw this ball again. Much more difficult to wash, and they weren't like dishwasher safe, and they were a little bit different. The ones that are newer design are much easier to wash. You can stick every part of them in the dishwasher, and they seal a little better and easy to open. I do realize, I do think they're a great investment, but anything with a gasket is going to keep the critters, most of your critters out. So that's the advice I have for you with that. Wow, you're really persistent with the ball today, bud. Nadine asks, she has no clue to how to store first aid stuff, in particular Band-Aids. I have different sizes in their boxes, but when it starts being one or two of a particular size type, I end up with boxes and boxes and boxes as I buy more. I don't get rid of the original boxes because I don't know what type of Band-Aid it is. I also keep gauze, tape, pads, medicines, etc. I'm currently using a collapsible cloth storage bin with a lid to hold things, but it's a hot mess. I just close the lid and walk away. I think I was doing that like a long time ago, but I now have a first aid kit that is a box. So I want to encourage you to look at the possibility of getting a divided box. They sell divided boxes that are like different divisions. They have like, some have the grid, and the ones that are on the screen right now, it's this way. Nope, it's this way. that have line dividers like this where you can stick different things in, and this one just happens to have first aid stuff inside of it. Divided box is great, but again, you want to make sure that you are being very careful with micro-organizing. So if you get a clear box with a division, you can place Band-Aids inside, and then you can see what kind they are. You don't have to keep the box. Or you can just put one of the Band-Aids like on the top of each little division. What is the word I'm looking for? Each container, I guess. I am a hot mess today, you guys. And, identify what kind of Band-Aid it is that way, but I would definitely look into either getting a clear container so you can see what's inside, or, a real first aid kit. I love first aid kits, like the little box with the handle. I think they're great. Or getting a drawer would be really great. Actually, I think I have a picture of a drawer. Yeah, something like a plastic drawer, or one made of acrylic or a glass. No, you don't have a glass drawer. And it's some kind of drawer that you can either stick on a shelf or like have being freestanding is a great option, because you can divide it. You can like put all kinds of stuff in it. You can see what's inside. So I would do that instead of an opaque bin where you can't see inside, because that is the danger zone. A divided lunchbox from Kmart. There we go. That is a really good recommendation. See, the collective brain of organizing. I'm like ripping off Jen from Jen Loves Reviews, who has the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, I think. Another awesome beauty YouTuber here on the platform from Maryland. So we are like that. Marylanders all the time. Last question here that was underneath the community tab. And I'm sorry, I meant to grab the questions from the chat last week, but it was just gonna be a little too much. So I think I'm gonna limit the questions to the community tab post that I'll put up before. And I'll put it up a little earlier. I'll put it up maybe on the Friday before the live chat, so that I have time to get them all, and we'll see how many we can get through. And if I'd answered the question before, then I'll just refer them to the old chat. But last question is Ebony's views. My man is a fine artist, painter. I think you're in the chat. In our bonus room, it's a long rectangle-shaped room. It's filled with work that's not on display. Any advice how I can alleviate some of the clutter? The pieces are lined up and leaning against every piece of wall. I was just thinking of filling up the walls with every piece that I can tightly fit. Well, that's a fine option. So the reason I think I'm going to put and this is an aside, the reason I think I was going to put the chat, the question and answer stuff before is I think evolving this live stream program, I think that either speaking with some of you or having you show me your spaces is going to be really beneficial, because without seeing what I'm working with, it's going to be really hard for me to recommend a remedy for you. I do think that art storage is very cool. So I found this on the internet. This is custom art storage, by the way. I think this was done by a closet company. So I think this is a really good option if, because you can have this bonus room be really beautiful. Fill it with art. Fill the walls with art. It can be like a museum or storage room of sorts if it's just being used that way. I don't know what else is in the room, because in my mind, when I got the question, I just imagined that it was like just empty and full of art, and it was like some sort of like 4x8 room just filled with art. So I don't know what it's like, but I do think hanging the art up is a good idea in that room that it's not being used at. The other option I was thinking for you is those like ledge shelves that they're only about like this deep, that you can hang them up, and you can just place the ones that are not being used right now on those shelves, and they look really cool. I didn't find a picture at the time. I could share my screen, but I don't want to do that right now. But I think that's a really good option for you, because then you can just easily take those off and put those, and put them up and take them down at your leisure. But I'm glad that helped you. I think that in the future for these live chats, I would love to have some pictures or like a small video of your issue to play before I talk. I think that'd be really interesting. So I think when I do the thing on Friday, I may have some place where you can submit. Actually, I'll make a form where you can submit your query on my website, and that way I can be a little more interactive with you. And if maybe some of you don't mind, you can come onto the live chat and talk with me, if you don't mind being on YouTube at all. So I think, do you guys feel like that would be useful for you? I think that would be really useful and make this a little more interactive. Cause I didn't, when I first did this, I wasn't really sure like what I was going to do with this, I guess, program, but I think that would be really fun. And, it'd be a ton of more work for me, but it would be fun. It would be fun for you guys. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is, opening my YouTube membership option, which is like the join button, which would put some content behind a paywall at this point. Just frankly, I just want to be 100% honest with you that I didn't, I did lose a lot of my income by, from the pandemic. So because I can't really go see people in person, and seeing people online has been super, super fun. But it's just been, it's been a blow. So I need to open up a few more options for revenue streams. And I don't want to start Patreon because I feel weird about, I hope that the content I'm publishing is helpful for you, but with opening, membership site, I want to feel like I give value to you, and I don't want you to give me money for nothing. So I hope that some of you will participate if I open up the join option on YouTube. I'm the worst about because I don't want donations, right? Because it's not, I want to help people and, exchange that for, a few dollars a month. So that is where I was just thinking about that yesterday. And so I hope that will be helpful. So I think a deep dive organizing session may be something I will open up behind the join button. But these are fun too, and I hope to be able to do these for as long as I can for you guys, because I want to be able to help you guys with your spaces, because we are all at home looking at them, and sometimes you're looking around and you're like, what? I have been putting that off forever. So just checking the chat. So now we can just hang out and talk and have a little fun. It's almost, it's 12:44. And I have not eaten dinner at all. Dinner? Where am I? I have not eaten lunch or breakfast, so I'm starving at this point. So as soon as we're done with the chat, I'll be stuffing my face with black bean soup. I love black bean soup. And it's probably not that good for you if you just dip chips in it and eat it. Because that's what I've been doing. We have these tortilla chips and I just dip it in it and eat it, because it gives me a real Taco Bell feel, because I haven't really been going to Taco Bell at all, but I've been wanting to go to Taco Bell. So let me just check to see how you guys are doing in the chat. I talked about everyone's talking about the Rosina Pansino pantry. I haven't seen it, and everyone wants me to react to it. Should I? I mean, it looked a lot like Jacqueline's pantry. You know what I mean? It looked very similar. And a lot of those pantries thank you, Art Smart. A lot of those pantries, I haven't set it up. That's something I'm going to do within the next few days. I don't want to just rush and do it. But I will set it up within the first few days. Oh, moderators. I don't know. Was there some craziness at the end of the chat? Actually, there was one kind of weird question in the chat at the very end of the premiere. I mean, if it gets to be a huge problem, then maybe I will recruit some moderators. But for now, I mean, it's best to just ignore people that are causing annoyance because they just want attention, right? I hope there's nothing breakable behind you. You know what? Behind me is the kitchen. I'm all over the place. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I'm all over the place. There's just there's just dishes and stuff. Can you see? It's kind of in the island with the sink. But that's what's behind me. I think I was talking about something and then lost my train of thought. So just remind me what I was talking about. Everyone's talking about the black bean city. There's a delay that was, yeah, Erica, you know what? I'm not worried about stuff like that. I mean, if there becomes a need for, a regular moderator, then I will recruit somebody. But I don't think yet there's a need for that. I don't think I'm that popular. Oh, I was talking about the pantry. So this Rosina, it's been sent to me on Instagram. I've gotten a couple messages on Twitter and an email, so I might check it out and do a react. But it did look like Jacqueline's pantry. It looked real empty and white and container story. So, and home edit-y. Do you guys, there was a home edit show in the works. I don't know if it was for Netflix or if it was like internet only, but I'm trying to figure out where I can see that. Hi Victoria. There's a other the Tia Mowry video. Apparently there's a great pantry in that one. That's like the sister twin. I really want to see that pantry. So maybe I will do some more reaction videos. I don't want to do those all the time because I know they're not everybody's cup of tea, but like they're fun for me to do. And I did order a new webcam that cost me $180. Hopefully we're going to be writing it off on my taxes, but like, because my webcam, well, right now I'm talking to you through the webcam that's on my Mac, which is actually a pretty good webcam, right? But it's just not, I think it only does like 30 frames. And then I have this webcam, but I hooked this up today and the white balance is off. I know you guys don't care about this. The white balance with this camera is so very strange that out here it made everything look blue. So I ordered a brand new Logitech webcam, and hopefully, I don't know when they're going to send it because it's coming out soon. And B&H was like, well, it's on a first come, first serve basis. So I don't know what that means. Like they took my money, but I just need them. But maybe they won't send it till June. I don't know. Thank you, Shannon. Oh, Casey Holmes showed her pantry. It was big, but it looked real. I'm interested in that. If Casey Holmes' pantry looks like a real pantry tour. Not that Jacqueline's wasn't a real pantry tour, but she did say it was staged. Okay, I will have to admit that she did say it was staged. It looked staged. A lot of spaces are staged before people put them on the internet, of course, because like, you know, you're not gonna take a picture of yourself with like looking a hot mess and put it on Instagram and expect, you know, or maybe you are, maybe that's your shtick, but like most people aren't. They're gonna like do Facetune and put makeup on, and you know, I put makeup on before I came here, so that's a perfectly human thing to do, is to stage a space before they put it on the internet. But that's another thing that creates a sort of false sense of what's expected, I think. And I did actually film a video talking about the deceptiveness of what we see online as opposed to what's real, or what opposed to what most people's houses look like. I do believe that people's houses do look like that. It's not a lot, but I don't think it's a lot of people, but I do believe that there are houses that look like that. There are people that do have their pantries like that. I know somebody's house that's like that. And there's a whole thing now about the interior of your home being the new Fendi purse, right? It's the new status symbol. So it now has, because you can take a picture with your phone and share it to the internet in seconds right now, and the interior of people's homes have now become the new, like, look how cool and successful and together I am. So there's a sense of that becoming a thing, and then there's the keeping up with the Joneses phenomenon. So that kind of a thing does exist. I'm not knocking it. It's just the way that it is. So that then creates some of these, you know, what appears to be overly staged or fake spaces. I do believe some of those spaces are actually real and function for people, but I don't think it's most people. You know what I mean? So, and I have mixed feelings about it. I think that it intimidates people, you know, from solving problems, because they think that the end result has to look like that. And it, you know, it makes people spend a lot of money when they don't need to. But then it's good because it does inspire people to get to, like, you know, a good enough place, which is a place where you should get to. It just, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I am working on 2 very, very, very in-depth videos about minimalism and about the effect of social media on people's interior spaces. I mean, those videos from Architectural Digest where they go into celebrities' houses, those are so popular, and it's a reason we're all a little voyeuristic. We want to see what's in people's houses and want to keep up with the Joneses. So that's a whole phenomenon, and that I just went on for ever with that. It's a whole, just went on. Oh, Victoria, your MAC makes your skin look very glowy and amazing. I know. That's why I was like, I'm just gonna keep with this webcam on the Mac, because like she's literally like what's the word I'm looking for? The Facetune. Like, she's making me look really good. Like, I should have just skipped the foundation, because like, I don't know. There's no filter on it or anything like that, but I don't know. It looks pretty good. Hey, Sylvia, with your deep pantry, 22 by, can you send me an email? My email is in the description of every video, and we'll talk. I will put together that form by the end of the week, so there's a chance that you might be better off waiting till then. But I will put together a form that you can fill out on my website and send me media, pictures, video, all kinds of things, so that we can present that for the live next week. Because without seeing the space, I really am not going to be able to do much for you. That dog that lives downstairs is barking again, y'all. And Clover's going to bark any second. There's a dog that lives downstairs. I'm going to rant. There's a dog that lives downstairs that is always barking. Always. Like, I don't know, like, it barks in the morning, it barks in the afternoon, it barks in the evening, and it, when Clover hears that dog barking, he like starts to bark, and it's just, I want to find this dog. I don't want to say anything to me, but it drives me absolutely insane. Hello, Jennifer. Hot Shots level webcam. LOL. Angela, you can't hear him yet, but you'll be able to hear Clover Bean if he starts to back or bork. F Doctor, I am not a minimalist. So the thing. Well, here's a preview of my minimalism video. I don't consider myself a minimalist, right? Because I'm not overly concerned with, I'm just not, okay? However, I have concerns about the concept of minimalism being a virtue. It's not a virtue, it's just a choice that people make, right? And it doesn't make you a good or a better person than someone who has it doesn't make you a better person than someone who has more stuff, or to someone who doesn't choose to get rid of all their possessions and have experiences fulfill them rather than items, right? So I feel like there is some sort I feel like there's a slight danger in giving it some sort of virtue status, right? And also, there's a weird culture in minimalism of like gatekeeping, because I've been watching a lot of minimalist videos, and they would show their like stack of shirts, and they were like, well, you have too many shirts, you can't call yourself a minimalist. And I'm like, well, what if they need 8 shirts or however much they said? So it got me thinking a lot. And there was even like a little blurb on Netflix. And I'm not saying, disclaimer, I love minimalism. I love watching those videos. I love when people, are getting rid of a lot of their possessions and living and having more experiences and getting rid of clutter in their homes and having it look really great. I think that's fantastic. Next to my own heart. But there was a little blurb on Netflix, or it was in the description of the minimalist, I think it was a documentary on YouTube, and it was like the virtues of minimalism. And I'm like, see, you're doing it. You're making it seem like people who have a minimalist lifestyle or have made the choice to live that lifestyle are somehow better, or or more heavenly or going to heaven, as opposed to the maximalist who loves their possessions, who loves their knickknacks, who loves their art. I don't have a lot of those knickknacks, right? I have, a few things that are decorative that I have around. And I'm actually talking to a designer in New York. I haven't spoken to him in a few months, but I was talking with him, and he's what I consider a maximalist. He's got like a home full of it's a curated collection, but it's full of things, and it's beautiful. And he's what he refers to as a maximalist. Maximalist? Yeah, I guess. Anyway, both of those lifestyles, or both of those choices, minimalism and maximalism, are fine. And they don't make you a better person or a bad person. It's just a choice you made. And if the problem with items is the relationship between you and the item, that's where the problems are, right? The problems aren't with the items. They aren't with the knickknacks or the lack thereof. They're your relationship with these items. That's where the issue is. And that's where I come in, because I consider myself clutter therapist, right? Because people are working with me and they want to repair their damaged or fractured relationship between them and, whatever thing they're trying to either decide to keep or get rid of. The problem is not with this. The problem's not necessarily mean you're a bad person. Problem is with the space between, do I keep this, or is this gonna, make someone else happier than it's making me? Am I gonna, make my life better by giving this to someone else? That's where the problems are. So I just have issues with the way that it's slightly judgmental and a little bit toxic with the minimalist movement. I think it's great. I think it becomes very dogmatic, very similar to, I think, veganism, and that's like I'm going to make people mad when I talk about that. But people who are vegan, sometimes they can really be very dogmatic with their beliefs and judge other people for not making the same choice, when it's really just a choice you make, and it doesn't make you a better person or a worse person for making a choice. I think that there's a gray area, and I think we really have to be careful about how much we judge people and how much we think people are bad people or good people. That most people inherently think that they are okay, right? And we make a judgment about whether they're black hat or white hat. People are people, right? There's a lot of shades of gray, and black and white thinking, I think, is very dangerous. Wow, soapbox. I shouldn't have gone onto my. I was talking way too long about that stuff. So I'm sorry if I upset people. But you know what? If you're not making a difference if you don't piss some people off, right? It's just the way I feel. I feel like there's a lot of people in the world today that are not careful about giving people the benefit of the doubt and not trying to see, their point of view or the life through their lens. I always want to make sure that I give people, a fair chance and try to see their point of view before I, put a judgment on their, choices and stuff. Even people who do really bad things aren't 100% bad. You know what I'm saying? That no one is 100% evil and no one is 100% good. So that's kind of how I feel about the world. Yeah, my Westworld is showing. Darn it, it is. Man, I'm obsessed. You guys, I am so mad that there's not going to be Westworld for probably 2 years or 3 years. I'm totally obsessed. Okay, I gotta go. But Brid, what's my favorite lipstick? It is, you know what? It's Bite. Whatever the Bite red lipstick is, that's my favorite because it looks so pretty and it feels so good on the lips. Probably the red, the red. I forget what it's called. It's called tannin or something. I love that. So yeah, people don't give each other grace. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a pet peeve that I have about the world right now, is that we're, the judgment of other people is something that is upsetting to me. It's the way that the world is, because we, and especially now that we're on the internet, we let other people in, right? Just to places they didn't normally see, it's our homes, whatever. And people feel like they need to offer their 2 cents or make make assumptions about things they don't know, because this a very curated view of what our worlds are like, right? If you're on YouTube, you get a curated view of my life and everybody else's life, but you don't see 100% of the whole picture. You may see 20%, you may see, top 5%. So it's just, you gotta keep that in mind when you're looking at people on the internet or you're judging other people. You don't know what's going on in their lives. So, you guys, it is 1:00, and we got through the flyover. We got through the questions, and we got through my ranting about other people and dog issues and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go. And I will schedule the live for next week, but I will put some stuff. I will by the end. Okay, here's the timetable. By the end of the day, I'll have updated the description for you. Hopefully, after this finishes processing, because it takes a few hours. And I'm going to make a form on my website where you can enter some media for the chat next week, so that we'll have something to work with, and so that I'm not scrambling on the morning before. Because I really did have a dream last night, or a nightmare, that I flashed everybody on live. Because once it's on the internet, it's there for life. Like in the dream, right? I stopped the stream and I deleted it from YouTube. But in real life, if someone sees your boob online, it's there for life. And you know what? It's not the end of the world if anybody sees your boob. A boob's a boob. But I mean, it's not my first choice of things to happen online. You know what I mean? So hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have that form done, and you guys can send your stuff, and I'll update you about the membership site and all that stuff. I'm working on a bunch of stuff, which is insane. I'm working on a webinar for singers to help them with YouTube stuff also, and that's a totally separate project. So there's a lot of stuff going on this week, but I hope to be done by Friday at the latest. So I gotta go. I'm gonna go have some black bean soup. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are having a great morning, great afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.